Good morning, everyone. This is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with A Scanner Darkly by Luda 3, not A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick. That would be an interesting thing to talk about on the channel. Wow, I remember loving that book in high school, and it was definitely one of the books that made me never want to do drugs. Um, don't do drugs, kids. Do Sudoku. It's more engaging for the brain. Yeah, it's wow. Definitely having. It's an amazingly good book, and one I think many people should read to kind of understand more. Philip K. Dick's work is just weird and explains things about the world in a way that a lot of people aren't comfortable with. And I love his work so much. And A Scanner Darkly, which came out in late 70s. It wasn't new when I was reading it, but it also wasn't a science fiction classic at the time. Um, was um, yeah, I know that there were a lot of people angry that, oh, this is a book that shouldn't be in high schools, and it absolutely should be, because it's a good warning. Now, I'm assuming A Scanner Darkly is named after the book. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. Let's have a look at the puzzle, shall we? This is A Scanner Darkly by Luda 3. So this has a couple of my favorite constraints in it. The diagonal constraint was the first ever constraint I explored when I got into setting, and I said I need to understand a constraint better, and the quadruple constraint was one of the others. So this will be quite interesting. I've never done dig into Knight's Move, but I solved a lot of them early on. Yeah, we'll see how all this goes. I'm out of practice with much stuff, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. Is where I'm coming from. This is a puzzle that if what hadn't been submitted and I'd seen, it was like I want to solve this. So yeah, let's have a look at how it works, shall we? Normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. We also have the same constraint on these diagonals. So the diagonals may not contain any repeated digits. They are 9 cells long, so they will contain the digits 1 to 9. Cells that are a knight's move apart in chess may not contain the same digit. So if I was to pick on that cell, anything that is a knight's move apart, so if you were to draw this shape in any way from that cell, the digit that the two end points of that shape may not contain the same digit. So this is a knight's move, 2 in one direction and 1 in another. So that cell may not contain the same as that cell, because if I was to draw a connector between those two cells, then apart from going, a really long-winded way, a connector between those two cells is a knight's move apart. If you can draw this shape to connect two cells, the endpoints of this shape may not contain the same digit. That's basically what it means. Doesn't matter about rotation. Those two can't be the same because that is the same shape. That's how Knight's Move works. Let's get rid of all the coloring. And digits in a quadruple circle must be placed at least once in the 4 cells touching that circle. So there must be a 6 and a 7 in those 4 cells. There must be a 1 and a 9 in those 4 cells. There's no quadruple circles on borders. So yeah, basically the digits in the circles must be placed in the cells touching the circle. That's what it means. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So normally what I'm looking for here is some quadruple logic to get things started. Now, I possibly should be looking for Knight's Move, but I'm not yet. So, for example, we can see that because 2 and 5 have to be up here, they can't be down here. 2 and 5 have to be up here, so they can't be down here. So 2 and 5 are in those cells. Now, I'm looking for that sort of pressure. Now, for example, I can tell that has to be a 6 because 6 has to appear in those 4 cells because of that quadruple, but 6 has to appear in those 4 cells and those 4 cells. Now, between those, 6 is shared between those, but between these, we have to put 6 in the middle of the grid. That's basically what we're getting here. Now, that places 6 around this quadruple because that 6 sees those 2 cells in the column and that one by Knight's Move. So this becomes a 6. Now, 2 is in one of those. We should have no other repeated digit. Oh, no, we do. These quadruples share a digit. I have to put 3 in one of those 3 cells and 3 in one of those 3 cells. So that becomes a 3. So this now becomes 1 8 because I need to put 1 8 in this quadruple, and there is a 5 in here. That means that around this quadruple, if I can't put 5 here, or I'd break this, so 5 is in one of those two. There is a 7 in here, which gives me a little bit because I can't put 7 down here now because of this quadruple. I can't put, oh, it was already this way. I can't put 7 down here. I can't put 7 down here. So 7 is in one of those. Interestingly, that means that can't be a 7. So 7 is in one of those 3 because that cell sees all 3 of those. We know this is just 1, 3, 5, and 8. I'm going to put that in. The same as this is... Well, this can't be 1 or 8. Because if this is 1, both of those can't be 1 because it sees that cell in the row and that cell by knight's move, and the same with 8. So this is not 1 or 8. Because 1, if this is 1, this can't be 1. If this is 1, this can't be 1. If this is 8, this can't be 8. If this is 8, this can't be 8. And both of those cells see that. So that can't be 1 or 8. The 6 is down in these two by Sudoku. I know I'm all over the place with this, but oh, there is a 2 in one of those two, which means that's not a 2. So 2 is in one of those 3, which means that's not a 2, and 2 is in one of those 3. Not sure what I'm looking for here. This is 3, 6, 7, 9. We know 2 and 9 are in there. 9 is in one of those two because I can't put 9 in here because of this quadruple, and I can't put 9 in here. So 9 is in one of those two. I'm trying to get low-hanging fruit before I start digging, because I get like 6 is in one of these two, which puts 6 down here with 7. Because this 6 knocks it out of here, but it has to be around this quadruple, which puts 6 down here with 7. But I have to put 2 and 9 in these cells. So this is a quadruple now, because 2 and 9 have to go into those 3 cells. But when I add that cell, I also need to include 6, 7. So this is 2, 6, 7, and 9. Now, I can't put 9 in either of those two cells. I can't put 6 there or there. So 6 is in one of those two. But this means 1, 2, 3. This is a 4. Sorry, it's hay fever. I hate the hay fever season. This is a 4. And this was 2, 6, 7, 9. With 9 in one of those two. There's no 7 there because of the lining up quadruples. So this is 2 or 9. I'm going to take the 7 out of that. That was cool, I think. I'm trying to see how the diagonals are interacting. I don't think I've ever done a diagonal. I probably have. I'm almost certainly done a diagonal knife mover. Right, 5 is in one of these 3, and they all see that cell. So if this was a 5, I couldn't put 5 there, there, or there, but I know 5 is down there because of the quadruples. This is the 3, and I can take 3 out of those. That puts 3 in one of those two, and this becomes a 3, 6 pair. Okay, so this becomes a 7, 9 pair, which means this is the 2, and I can take 2 out of all of those. This becomes 6, 7, this becomes the 9, and this is a 6, 7 pair. I knew there'd be some low-hanging fruit somewhere, I just didn't know where. Right, 8 is in one of those 3, So 8 can't be up here because of this quadruple. 8 can't be up here because of this quadruple. This can't be the 8. The 8 has to be in one of those two. 4. So these are 1, 4, 5, and 8. 1, 4, 5, 8. Well, there's no 1 or 8 there, so this is 4 or 5. If that's 4, that's 4. Which seems okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. But that does mean 7 is up here. Two and 6. I've got 2 here with 6. I've got to put 5 in here to go with the 3, 5, 6. 1, 3, 6, 8 is good, and the 7. So what I don't have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't have a 4, but 4 is not there. So this is a 4, 5 pair. This is just a 4, 5 pair. So these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 7, and 9. But there's no 2 there. Why have I got no 2 there? Why do I have 2 in there? I have 2 oh, because of the quadruple. 2 is not there because of the 2, 6 quadruple, and this 2 takes 2 out of there. So this is the 2. And this is a 7, 9 pair. Right. So 7 can't be there, because if 7 was there, 7 was in neither of those cells. So 7 is in one of those two. If that's a 7, that's a 7. If that's a 7, that's a 7. Probably something I'm missing there. I can see 5 is down here. 4 around this. 9 is in one of those two. I keep missing these quad things. There's not 9 can't be here, 9 can't be here. Not, so 9 is in one of these three, but 9 has to be around that quadruple. So 9 is in one of those two. I know 4. 7 is in one of those two. I keep seeing this pattern and thinking there's a knight's move trick to it, but I don't think there is. 4, 8, and 9 are in here. So there must be at least one of 4, 8, and 9 in here, which is going to interact with these cells, but I can't see how. Like I could see these cells here mean that this can't be a 1 because it sees all 3 of those. So the 1 is in one of those 3. Now, if I could knock 1 out of there, that would put 1 on the diagonal and have an impact, but I'm not getting that yet. 2 is down here. Nine is in one of those 3 because that 9 sees that cell. Oh, that 9 sees that cell. That's not the 9. That's the 9. Because all of those cells are seen. So 9 is now, well, it's in this quadruple, but it's not there, which was seen by both of those 9s. So that's unhelpful. 4 is here, 4 is here, 4 is here, 4 is here. If 4 is here, that just puts 4 up here somewhere. No. This is 1, 5, or 8 for the row. It's not 8 because, oh, it's not 8 but for either row logic or because of the quadruple. So this is 1 or 5. I'm definitely... Three, oh, this 3 sees those 3 cells around this quadruple. So that's a 3, which puts 3 up here, but not there. So 3 is around this quadruple with the 9. The quadruples are far enough away from each other that they're not giving a lot. So there are 5 digits in here. What's in here that I haven't done? 2. I haven't put 2 in here, but that's not restricted in any way. So these are 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. Great. They're going to be 1, 2, 4, 5, 8. Great. Oh, I could do it again. 1 here, 1 here. 1 is in one of those 2. 6 is not on the diagonal. It's not in that cell because that would break the 6, 7. So it's in one of those. No, what is it I am missing? Apart from marble sanity and the solution to this puzzle. So this cell is restricted. It can't be, it can be 1, 2, it can't be 3 or 4, it can be 5, can't be 6, 7, 8 or 9. So this is 1, 2 or 5 only. That's not, because cells that are off these quadruples can only be digits that are not on the quadruples. But there's not as much restriction. Like these cells here can't be 3, 4, 7, 8 or 9. So they're 1, 2, 5 and 6. That's not helpful either. Well, this is not the 2 because of that 2. So 2 is in one of those 2. 1 is not in... Oh, yeah, 1. I've already got 1 down here. There's something about the diagonals I have absolutely fundamentally missed, I'm sure. Is this another example of why people say, you shouldn't run a Sudoku channel? Yeah, maybe. What's the trick of diagonals and knight's move that I have missed? Like, I could just color digits and say, and figure it out. Because it's a trick I've used in the past where I've turned around and said, we know 2 has to be in here. We know 2 has to be in here. We know 2 has to be in here. And if you color all of the places where 2s can be, then you can maybe start finding some eliminations. Now, 3s, for example. No, 4 and... Well, 4 is in... So, I'm trying to see what is a good digit to do this with. So, for example, we know 4 is in those, 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 4 is there. So we know 4 is in those. We know 4 is in those, but we don't know anything about 4 in this box to start with, except it's not in those. And down here, we've got almost nothing on 4 at all. And what you do is you start saying, well, this can't be 4 because that sees all 3 of those. So you can start turning off individual cells. It also sees all 3 of those. So that could never be 4. And it's like 4 on this diagonal is going to have to go into one of these quadruples, but it can. That 4 sees that cell and that cell and that cell, so they can't be 4. And then you just start whittling down. Those see that, right? So that can't be a 4. So we know 4 is in one of those two, so these can't be 4. But I don't feel this is actually giving, like, it's not giving me anything with 4s, but it's a trick you can use. It's a trick I've used early on when I got stuck on Knight's Move puzzles. I didn't even check the difficulty on this one. But this is a trick I've used in the past, but I'd like to have more to go off before I do it. So, for example, 9s. 9 can't be in those because that would break here. Is there something going on with 9s? I can't tell. I'm very stuck. Oh, here's something. 7 can't go in those, 7 can't go in those, 7 can't go there because I've got 7 because of the quadruple. So this has to be the 7 in the column. Does that 7 do anything? Yes, it makes that the 9 and that the 7. That 9 sees that one, making that the 7 and that the 9. That means 7 is down here and 9 is down here, which means 9 is in one of those 3. That 9 sees that one. So 9 is in one of those 2. But this 9 sees that one on the diagonal. So this is the 9, which puts 9 in one of those 2. Which puts 9 in one of these 2 by Sudoku, but that 9 sees that cell. So that's a 9. Simple things. So 9 in this box now is around this quadruple, but not there. So it's in one of those 3 cells, but it's not on the diagonal. So what I'm left with is these with 9s. What about 7s? Well, 7, right, 7 down here because of the quadruple, and 7 here means 7 is in one of those 2, but that 7 means that's not the 7 and that's the 7. I have to put 7 on the negative diagonal. I can't put it in those 3 cells because it's off the diagonal. I can't put it in those 3 cells, it's off the diagonal. So, but it's in one of those. But I can't put it there because if I put it there, on this quadruple, the 7 is down here, and on this quadruple, the 7 is there, and I'm broken. So this is the 7 on the diagonal. That displaced a 1, making this a 1, and this is now a triple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. But I can't put 5 in either of those 2 without breaking these quadruples. So this is a 6, 8 pair, this is the 5, and I can take 5 out of those. Needed to start looking at this puzzle the right way. This 6 makes this the 8 and this the 6. I mean, I'm not out of the woods yet, not that I was in woods, but yeah. So this can't be 4 or 5. So it's 1, 2, or 8 only. Now, 7 is in one of those 2. Oh, this 7 makes this 6, which makes this 7, which means this is not the 7, this is the 7, which looks down to the diagonal, making that not 7 and that 7. Very, very swish. This is now the 3 by remaining pencil mark, which means this is the 9, which looks down the diagonal saying that's not the 9 and that's the 9. Again, very, very swish. Now, I haven't got a 1 on this diagonal, but I can't put it there and I can't put it there. So the 1 is in one of those two cells, which both see that cell. So that can no longer be a 1, because if that was a 1, I'm not putting a 1 in either of those. What are these? 1, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, no. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this 5 makes this 4 and this 5. So this is just a triple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are 1, 3, and 8. Well, there's no 1 here. These are 1, 3, and 8. There's no 3 here. So 3 is in one of those two. But that means this is a quadruple. 1, 2, 4. Well, I'm not putting 4 down there. So 4 is in one of those two because of the 4 on the quadruple here. 5, 6, not sure. 2, 4, 5, 6. But the 4 here, of course, puts 4 in one of those two, which puts 4 in one of those two. It's going to be the same trick along this other diagonal, I'm sure, but I haven't found it yet. Like 6 is in one of those 3. Well, 6 is in one of those two. Right. This 6 takes 6 out of there and all of those. So 6 is in one of those two, which means 6 is not on the diagonal down. Oh, yeah. Okay, now. This is a triple. Let's put this triple in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right. These are 3, 4, and 5. Well, that's not a 3. That's not a 5 because of that 5, or the 5's in here. That's not a 4 because the 4 is in one of those two, so that's a 3 or a 5. Oh, no. There'll be another trick. I'll find it, or I won't. It's a binary thing. So these are from 1, 2, 4, and 5. So this is just 1 or 2 because it sees 4 and 5. This is 1, 4, 5 because it sees a 2. Oh, it also sees a 5. So this is just, oh, this sees a 5. So the 5 has to be here. Does that do anything? 5 is now in one of those two. Right, this is a 2, 4 pair. Because 4 is around here on the quadruple and 4 can't go here. So 4 can't go in those cells because of the quadruple. It can't go in those cells because this is a 9, 7 and the 4 sees that. So 4 has to go in one of those two cells. This is a 2, 4 pair. This becomes the 1, which I could have got from the quadruple. This is not the 1. 1 is down here. This 5 takes 5 out of there. This is feeling kind of useless. I haven't got it yet. So 4, 8, and 9. So what can this cell be? It can't be 1. It can't be 2. It can't be 3. It can't be 4. It can be 5. It can be 6. It can't be 7. It can't be 8, 9. This is 5 or 6. No. So 2 is looking down from here because this can't be a 2. So 2 is looking down from here. So 2 is in one of these 3 cells. Oh, that 4 sees that 4. So this is the 4, which looks up making that 3 and making that the 5. That 5 means 5 is not in any of those. 5 is off the diagonal in this box. 5 is in one of those 3 because that 5 sees all of those. But that's... No, that is not true. But it's off the diagonal in this box, and it's not on the diagonal in this box. So 5 has to be on the diagonal in this box, and that makes that the 5. So this is 1, 2, or 4. That's all the digits left for the row. What is this cell? It's got lots of options, doesn't it? It can't be 1, it can be 2, it can't be 3, it can't be 4, it can't be 5, it can't be 6, it can't be 7, it can be 8, it can't be 9. So this is only 2 or 8, which is very weird when you think about it. Or when you're me. Oh, 7 in box 8. 7 has knocked 7 out of those. 7 has knocked 7 out of those. That's a 5, and that 7 means that's not a 7. So that's a 7, that's a 6. This is now a quadruple, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, and 8. There's no 3 in any of those, so that's the 3. That's going to make this a quadruple, but the 1, 2, 8 looks up making that the 4, which means that's not the 4. 4 has to be in one of those two. This could be important. There's no 1 here. That 1 also sees here, so that's the 1. This is a 2, 8 pair. That's a 2, 8 pair, looking across, making that the 1, meaning this is not the 1. That 1 looks into there, making that the 8 and that the 1. That 8 looks there, making that the 5, which makes that the 1 and that the 8. That 1 looks over here. Well, this is just naked now because there's no 1 in it, there's no 5 in it, and there's no 8 in it. So that is the 4, which I could have got from that 4 eliminating everything. But I'm getting there. 8 is in one of those two. Not sure. But that 4 sees that cell. So that's not the 4 and that's the 4, which looks up meaning that's not the 4 and that's the 4. And now where is 4 on this diagonal? It's not in those 3 cells. It's not in those 3 cells. It's not there. It's not there. That's the 4. So that is not the 4. That looks up making that the 2 and that the 4. This is now just a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a 5, 9 pair, but that can't be a 9 because of that. So that's the 5, that's the 9. The 5 makes that the 6. Now this is not 6 or 9. This is just a 2, 8 pair, and I've got another 2, 8 pair, which looks across making that the 3 and that the 8. Deet, deet, doot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's a 6. And these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 2 and 5. Oh, and the 2, 8 pair, of course, makes that the 5 and that the 2, or I could have used the 5. Does that resolve anyway? I assume it's going to come from the diagonal. Oh no, that 8 makes that the 2 and that the 8, which makes that the 8 and that the 2. And now I know what these two digits are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So these are 2 and 3, which means this is 1. This 2 looks over making that the 3 and that the 2. The 1 makes that the 2. These are 1 and 8, and this 1 makes this the 8 and this the 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8 go into those. There's all sorts of stuff. This 2, of course, makes this 5, which makes this 1. There's no 1 here. This is actually a 2, 8 pair, and this 8 makes that the 2 and that the 8, which looks up making that the 6 and that the 8. The 6 makes that the 3 and that the 6, and that's the solution to the puzzle. Nice lunch break puzzle for me anyway. I imagine I missed a bunch of stuff in there that I could have got a lot faster, but the Luda 3 puzzles, I haven't done one in a while, but they're always good fun, and they're just really nice Sudoku logic. That was a really nice combo of Knight's Move, Quadruple, and Diagonal with enough information that you just never get stuck, and you could just keep going. I mean, I may not have looked in the right places, but I never felt like I was like, why am I lost? Like I was sitting there going, I'm missing something, but that's just because I'm talking to the camera. That's never me turning around and saying, oh, the puzzle hasn't given me enough information. Well, sometimes I feel that way, but um, because I'm solving to hi, hello everyone, because I'm doing that, I feel like I need to just constantly engage. And that means that sort of when my brain starts slowing down, and I'm definitely not thinking as much as I am when I'm solving not on camera, because I'm not as hyper focused on the puzzle. You'd think I would be, but it's not the way it works. There's a lot of other stuff going on I need to pay attention to. Um, so, uh, such as presenting, like yeah, it's a very very different experience. People who've solved on camera will tell you it's a different experience solving on camera than not. So at no point did I feel this puzzle was trying to hide a deduction from me, but it was never also trying to turn around and say there wasn't something to think about, which is cool. Not seeing things is just I'm looking elsewhere right now most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. That was a great puzzle. I really enjoyed that one. Um, yeah, thank you, Luda3. A lot of fun. I've had a really nice run of puzzles recently. Thanks everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.